All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome back for another deep dive into A Course in Miracles. We were talking yesterday about how each day is like a clean slate, a chance to choose love over fear, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A fresh start.
And today's lesson, lesson 16, it kind of takes that idea even further,
It does.
It says, I have no neutral thoughts. Like, whoa.
It really makes you think, right?
It does, because I think we often just kind of cruise through our days, assuming that, some thoughts matter and some are just kind of background noise.
Yeah, they don't have any impact. But, Of Course in Miracles, nope, not so fast.
Right. So, are we saying then that every little thought I have, what am I going to have for lunch today, is as powerful as, some big decision I'm wrestling with at work?
It's not so much about the size of the thought or the intensity of it.
Right.
It's more about recognizing that every thought we have contributes to reinforcing truth or extending illusion.
Gotcha. So what exactly does A Course in Miracles mean when it talks about truth with a capital T?
That's a great question. Truth in A Course in Miracles, it refers to that reality of our true nature, that we are love and peace and oneness with God. It's about recognizing that we are not these separate little individuals struggling in this material world, but rather extensions of this, loving source.
Okay, so then illusion would be the opposite of that.
Yeah, exactly. Illusion is the belief in separation, scarcity, fear.
Right.
It's the ego's story that we're limited, vulnerable, alone. And it's a powerful story. We see it play out all around us and within ourselves.
Totally. So that brings us right back to today's lesson, right?
Right.
If every thought contributes to either truth or illusion, then there really is no such thing as just a neutral thought.
Exactly. Even those seemingly insignificant thoughts, the ones that we barely register, they're still shaping our experience. Think about it. Imagine being in a classroom. You might have one student diligently taking notes. Another one's lost in a daydream. Another one's feeling anxious about a test. Their thoughts, even if they're unspoken, they're creating their individual realities in that moment.
That makes so much sense. I was reading the lesson this morning and I got kind of stuck on that idea that, I often find myself thinking, oh, that random thought about what I'm going to wear tomorrow, that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But, now I see it differently.
It is a powerful shift in perspective, isn't it?
It is.
When we start to grasp that even those little thoughts, those passing thoughts, that they are contributing to the overall energy that we're putting out into the world, it allows us to take more responsibility for what we're thinking.
So how do we put this idea into practice?
Yeah.
The lesson mentions closing your eyes and trying to, catch those subtle thoughts that we usually just dismiss.
Right.
I have to admit, I tried that, and it was way harder than I thought.
It is definitely a practice. It takes time to develop that level of awareness.
For sure.
At first, it can feel like you're trying to catch fireflies in a jar, but the more we practice, the more attuned we become to that constant stream of thoughts.
Okay, so the lesson also suggests using this affirmation. This thought about blank is not a neutral thought.
Yeah.
Because I have no neutral thoughts.
Yes.
It seems so simple, but I can see how it could be really powerful.
It is powerful because it brings that conscious awareness to each thought.
Yeah.
No matter how fleeting or insignificant it might seem.
Yeah.
And that awareness gives us that opportunity to choose.
Okay.
Do we want to reinforce this thought or do we want to just let it go?
It's like we're becoming the editors of our own mental movies.
Right. Exactly.
Instead of just passively watching whatever's playing on the screen, we have the power to choose the scenes that we want to create.
And what's really fascinating is that this concept, it can be applied to literally any situation.
Oh, for sure.
Imagine you're out shopping.
Okay.
And you're feeling kind of overwhelmed by all the choices.
Yeah.
Instead of getting swept up in those thoughts of I need this or I can't afford that, you can pause, take a breath, and remind yourself, this thought is not neutral. It's either contributing to my peace or it's contributing to my stress.
That's such a good example. And it really highlights how this lesson isn't just about some, abstract spiritual concept. It's about taking control of our minds so we can experience more peace in our everyday lives.
Yes, exactly. If every thought shapes our reality, then the question that A Course in Miracles is inviting us to ask ourselves is, what kind of world are you creating with your thoughts right now?
Ooh. That is a perfect thought to take with us as we go about our day. Thanks for another really illuminating deep dive.
My pleasure.
See you tomorrow as we continue exploring Course in Miracles together, one lesson at a time.
That's good.
I woke up to a miracle. today.